Good morning, everyone. How's everybody doing? Good to see you all. I'll get the charts up here in a second. Sorry, I'm just forwarding some charts. Okay. Sorry about that. Starting a little late. Okay, everyone. Welcome to Wednesday, the 14th, our RT8 session. I'm skipping ahead a day already. Our overnight inventory is long. Okay. We also have a poor low in the overnight low at 96.25. So you have competitive buying there. When the market opens, since we couldn't take out the previous day high, I am looking for a move lower. Okay? So I'm short biased based on inventory, not because of anything else. Okay? See, we're already taking out that lower stop at 59.13. We've had distribution above VWAP now for a few hours, right? We had a good distribution. Not enough to move the point of control up. You'll note that value did not shift higher. So when value doesn't shift higher, all it means is we haven't had enough time or enough buying to move the inventory from 59.04 and get it out the door at 59.20 or 16. Now, that point of control is 3,580 contracts. So if we get close to 3,500, somewhere here it might shift up. Let's see what happens. We just found the bid at 59.11, right? They're front-running VWAP. Okay? There's VWAP, there's a space, those are buy orders. You don't need a DOM to be able to tell that. That's how traders have been trading since the dawn of time. If a market can't get down to a price, you know that there are buyers here and the sellers stop selling. Pretty simple, right? It's just commerce. Okay? So before we start, how's the delay this morning? Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. So I'm JJ, vwaptrader1 on X, and we run the trading syndicate. It's a room where you can come and get a decent education for like 50 cents a day. Give us a shot. There's a code here at the bottom. If you use that code, you get 25% off. And spend a month with me there, and we promise you'll learn more than a month than you will anywhere else. Yeah, we do 2 sessions. We do one at 7:30 in the morning UK time, which is 2:30 in the morning New York time. And then we do this session at 9 New York time, 9 a.m. So, what are we doing off the open? I'd love to take a short. I'd love to be short. I should have been short here on the backside and there. There were two good shorts, but I wasn't in front of the screen. Those were two good ones. With a look above and fail, look above and fail. You hit the backside of the move, you got a place to put your risk. You have a business reason for the trade, right? You got sellers under 21, they're forced to sell. If those sellers start lifting their offers, you get out of the short because they see buyers. You let the sellers tell you whether to stay in the trade or not. Does that make sense? Good question, Howard. Without market profile, how do I tell where the selling stops? Well, Howard, it depends. How long do you need for that trade to work? So, for example, right? Let's go take an example of that, Howard. So here, okay? So there's a look below and fail here, right? Are you watching my screen? Okay. So there's a look below and fail of 96 and 3/4. So say we buy 58.98. Okay? Now what have I taught you to do once you buy 58.98? Okay? So you buy 98, you put your stop here. Okay? Now what do you do, Howard? You put your sell orders in. Now, if your stop gets taken out, you're out of the trade. Does that answer your question? That's why, Howard, I've been trying to get you to do the same setup over and over and over again. So you can understand. See, people are like, how long does it have to wait there? Da 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 da. Well, if you buy it and you sell it right away, you can capitalize off that quick movement. Howard, don't listen to Mike. I want you to do everything manually so you get discipline and you learn your software. Okay? So you put in your buy, you put in your stop. As soon as your buy order gets executed, you put your sell order out. Okay? And you got to do that 500, 1,000 times. Okay? So it becomes like second nature. And that will get the hesitation out. That'll get all of that stuff out. All right? That will give you experience. But you have to do the repetitions and you have to do the same thing. So you can't jump around and do one kind of trade and then another kind of trade. You have to focus and concentrate and only take those trades from the edges like I taught you. Okay? It's a good question. When you have a trade setup, that setup's going to take care of everything. Right? You do a look below and fail of 59.10 and a half. Right? It's holding 10 and a half. You know, you're buying 11, 11 and a half. You put your stop under those candles. As soon as you're executed, you put your sell orders in. So you're not chasing the market up. Right? You've got, as soon as you acquire your inventory, you put your inventory for sale. Right? So you're not fumbling around. If the market does not go out and take out your sell orders, sell the position. Don't sell it at break even. Sell it for 2 or 3 ticks at least, so at least you can pay your commissions. Because there's no point in doing business for break even. There's no business that actually wants to do business for break even. Does that make sense? And now you just got to do that over and over and over again. Repetition is what you need. That goes for everyone. That goes for me too. Right? So even when I'm trading and I've taken a couple of weeks off, or even sometimes I'll know. One second here. Give me 1 second, folks. Apologies. So I'm short biased, but is my short bias correct? Does the order flow support my bias right now? So overnight inventory is long. I'm looking for a correction lower. I'm short biased, but can you guys hear me? Hello? Did I lose audio? Okay. All right. So you're just ignoring me then. Okay. All right. So I'm asking you guys a question. Jeez. Oh my God. Is it Friday yet? Oh. Oh. This is why we kept a baseball bat in the trading room. So, is my bias correct at this time? It's not. No, I was asking people in the room. Uh, okay. So inventory is long and it's not correcting. So my bias is wrong. Thank you. You just got to check in. You know, sometimes you get those crickets. I know, like Monday mornings, everyone's asleep. Friday morning, everyone's tuckered out. Exactly. So Alexander brings up a good point. The overnight high has not taken out the previous day high. Right? So we're just distributing this lower inventory under 59.11 above it. If we get a decent amount of buyers, we might take out yesterday's high. But we don't know. So the best way to trade something when you don't know what's going to happen directionally, right? Trade the rotation. So if we open and we do a look above and fail of 59.21, right? Then you take the short, put the stop here, cover half in the middle and half at the bottom, right? If we open and liquidate and do a look below and fail of 59.10, so you want to watch and see if that rotation that's been going on now for 2.5 hours, does that rotation still work when the market opens? Because if it does, then you just trade this, right? We have a poor high yesterday? Nope, no poor high. Or did we? We did. I had my thing in the wrong place. One tick of excess. Yep, that's a poor high. Look, there it is. See, he's right. Yeah. So right now, you can see that we have sellers are at 18 and 3/4. Okay? How does that help you? Say you were short, right? Say you think, you know what, I'm going to short it before the open, and I see a seller at 18 and 3/4. I see them competing. So I start shorting 18. Just put your stop here. and then see if you can buy it back down here. That's how you trade intelligently, right? Do I ever use a 3-second chart? I do not. Uh, the shortest time frame I've experimented with is 30 seconds. And I don't know why he came up with 3 seconds. People have all sorts of things. It's like the moving average grind. Some use a 9, some use a 20, some use a 50, some use this. EMA, SMA. I don't know. It's hard to keep track. I like a 1 minute chart. It works well for our purposes. Candles are getting smaller, right? What does that mean? Candles are getting smaller, right? So there's less follow through up or down. It's a little slow before the open, right? That helps you manage your expectations. Yeah, it's just like a business, right? Pretend the market is a Walmart. So you get a rush of customers come in, and it kind of slows down, right? That's why you get that ebb and flow to order flow. Right? Business sometimes slows down a little bit. That's all. The problem is when it gets slow like this, it sucks a lot of people into shorting it, right? Because they think it's getting tired. But it's just slow. And the next thing you know, we're at 59.21. That's the problem with electronic execution, is because when it slows down like this, it does not necessarily mean it's weak. Candles are getting smaller because the business is slow at the time. You don't have to use a bunch of fancy words, right? The candles are getting smaller because there's less order flow and there's not enough size to create a large candle. That's all it is, right? Remember, we're opening on a market that has a huge gap underneath, a massive short position under 5,900. So people are not going to come in gangbusters looking to buy, right? It slows down a little bit. So if you're short 18, right, throw some bids in here at 15.5 and see if you can get a taste. Jaden, that one is I've never seen that. How did you add 4 contracts? Maybe your mouse clicked 4 times. I don't know. I've never heard about that one. That's a new one. Usually, you don't ever have. We don't usually ever have those kind of problems with that software. Yeah, all we need is a little bit of news. The order book will just thin out. Big order comes in, you'll get a big candle. Right. Right. The chart is just a sales chart. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Yeah, it's always good. When stuff like that happens, Jaden, just hit the flatten button really quick. Right? You can see that the sellers are lowering price on these candles. Right? The tops of the candles. So there's sellers here, then here, then here. So if you are short, now when the next candle opens in 30 seconds, see if it can take out these levels. Right? Because if it can't, then the sellers may offer here and then may offer here. And the tops of those candles, as they get lower, tell you that sellers are competing. It's really simple. It's not easy, but the chart is actually telling you what's going on. The problem is everybody thinks they're so smart that they can predict what the chart's going to do. See, look. Right? I don't rely on a 30-minute candle to confirm because I'm not in a trade for half an hour. You could if you wished. I'm not saying you don't have, that's not a bad thing. But I've never been in a trade for a half an hour. I really, really stick to this. This tells me where the stops are. So say if I was short 18, I know down here at 11, right, there's stops, and they'll front run this. So if they front run this, look, that's where they front ran it before. So if I was short at 18 and I'm still holding, now I go put a bid down at 13 and a half. Say you're short 5 at 18. Right? You cover 1 or 2 here, cover 1 here, cover 1 here. You've covered 3, you got 2 left. You could put your other orders down here underneath 13 and a quarter. Real simple. Short, stop. Cover, 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 cover. Beautiful. Right? You identify that there's a seller. Right? You identify that there's a seller. You take a short. You put your insurance above where if the seller goes away, that's the end of that transaction. And then you put your buy orders in. And you just let the market fall into your buy orders. Right? Now, if you had some bids here at 12, right, if you want to close out your position, a lot of people would be looking for 10 and a half, but I see they front ran it last time. So I'd probably go and put a 12, 12 and a half, 12 and 3/4 bid in. And that's not a bad trade if you're short 18. You cover some off at 15 half. You cover the balance off at 13. That's not bad. Right? 3 points here, 4 points there. It adds up. Right? You've done your trade before the open. Now, when everybody's chasing their tail, when the market opens in a minute, everyone's chasing your tail, you just sit back and watch. GeoCap, come into the room. We'll go into it in detail. I just showed you how to do it. Right? The business reason for the trade is here. The stop is here. Then you use my levels to get out of the trade and make profit. It's pretty simple. It's kind of a different way of trading for people who are traditional retail traders. right? Because it relies on common sense in business, which is not taught in traditional retail trading. Retail trading is trading an indicator or a pattern, but there's no actual thought to why it's happening. That's why when I talk, people are confused because it's really simple. Looking for a seller. Looking for a seller. I'm looking at that 19, right? Remember, we were looking at shorting 18 against 19. Let's see where the sellers step in. Inventory is long. Big green candle, right, Moran? Big green covering candle. Boom, there's the seller, 18 and 3/4. Now, it's offering over 18 and 3/4, so no reason for me to short it yet. Gonna wait for the next candle. See if that candle gets back over 18 and 3/4. There's no short. If it can't get over 18 and 3/4, damn, you sure screwed up that execution. Not quick enough. I shorted 18 and a quarter. There, I finally got it at 17. Quick scalp just to see if my brain's working. Right there, you go, Alexander. Hey, I think Fibonacci would be a cool last name. Hey, I'm Fibonacci. Nice to meet you. A little bit of rotation between 16 and 19. So I did a little test short there. Now if it starts doing this, if it starts taking out the tops of these candles, then I know that the sellers have spotted buyers. Right now, they're still futzing around here. There's still competition between 19, 18, and they're filling, they're getting off some size. Problem is, it's hard to figure out. That's why I really like trading at the edges. See, now let's see if we can take out the tops of these two candles. Nope. Sellers are still there. Yeah, execution is the lifelong thing, Travis. Because as soon as you get really smooth, the market changes, right? And what it is it's our ability to recognize change and modify our execution. It's almost, right, like when the quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage and he sees the linebackers have shifted or something, he calls an audible. It's the same thing in trading. See, buyers finally saw, sorry, the sellers finally saw some bids. Now let's see if we can hold those 20, 21, 22s, right? Gonna try for the overnight high. Let's see if we got the bullets. Right. Long 21 and 3/4. Out at 23. Just one contract. And if you wonder why I'm not trading size, well, because I took about 10 days off trading, and I want to make sure I got my chops back. So I don't like losing money just for the sake of looking cool. I know a lot of people think it's really cool to lose money. When you're in the business, that's not how it works. It's a quick way to become unemployable. So I'll scalp around and see if my brain is working. Now, is this a look above and fail of 21, or are they just going to futz around here, stick the 22s, and then take the overnight high again? Let's see. It did, Alexander. I tried to buy 22 and 3/4. It ran away from me. No fill. So I was right, but too slow. Let's see what happens when this next candle opens. Seller at 24/4. Where do they stop selling? It's got to go look below 21 and a half. Oh, you dirty bastard. It's got to go below 21 and a half and come back up over it for me to be comfortable going long. And sometimes I'll screw that trade up and get in too early. That's my big thing is I always get in too early. So if you're long, say 22/4, right, your stop is going to be just under that 21. And I'll probably get stopped out. I'm stopped out because I was too early, right? It happens, right? So now I know you got to kind of cool your jets, right? You're a little too anxious, a little too eager, right? We haven't had a decent liquidation in a while, eh? Let's see if we can get back up over 21 and a half. Otherwise, I think we'll rotate back down. The seller at 21 and a half, but it's not aggressive. They're not aggressive. There we go. So you hit that 20, 21, 23, 20 and 3/4, cover one at 19, cover the other one at 18 and a half. I'm flat. Once again, I'm just trying to get my trading chops because I haven't traded since I moved. Did a couple of scalps over the last few days, but nothing significant at all. Right? So now I know that maybe I'm a little too eager to trade, so I'll stay away from trades in here, right? Because what I did was when it did the look above and fail of 21.5, that's when I hit it here. I put my stop here, and I covered down in here. But I won't trade this. I'll wait for the edges. That'll keep me from over trading. There should be supply sometime. We've been waiting. It's been like 4 or 5 days with no supply. There we go. Okay. So my execution was better on the third trade. And now I know, okay, I could have held it a little longer. That's no big deal. But at least I know that my thinking and my execution is working. And then I just don't. Now we're in the middle of this range at 16. Never trade in the middle, right? If I was short and holding a little longer, I'd be covering here at 17. Like if I was that 20 and 3/4 short, 20 half short against the 21s, I'd be covering 17, 16. And if you want to hold a runner, maybe 14 and a half. Put a 14 and a half bid in. Maybe 14 and 3/4. And if we can't get down to 14 and 3/4 and you don't get filled, grab the offer. Right? If the offer starts moving up on you and you're short and it's for your runner, pay yourself. Don't wait till your runner goes all the way back to break even. That's just bad business. Right? So if you were 14 and 3/4 bid and you couldn't get any, why not buy it back at 15 and a half, 16, instead at 17, 18? Hope that makes sense. Right? That's just common sense. We double check where VWAP is now. There we go. Just above 12. Now, for those of you who are larger traders and you're building a short position, right, and you're looking for lower, well, here's your warnings level number 1, warning number 2, and 3, and that's your out. Now, I'm not talking small accounts, okay? For larger traders, if you're short, these are your warning levels, and that's your final out. And of course, the only reason you would be short is because you think you see a seller. Now we're in chop. Just chop. Let's see if we can get down to VWAP. Come on. There we go. Nice big push. Took a while. It took 14, 15 minutes. Took putting in a move over the overnight high to finally trap enough people long to get them to puke it out. So, now, if you're initiating short under VWAP, well, that's your stop. Okay? Your warning is we get over 11, right? And you pull that order. But if you're short, you need the market to stay offered under 10.5, right? And you put some bids at 8. But if we start offering over 10.5, then you're in trouble. See? And you got to stay under VWAP for this trade to work, right? There we go. Short off the 9s a little bit. And there's some bids down there. Now, as we get down to that overnight point of control, that's where the position is. So if it's a completely inventory-based market, it'll start to slow down here, maybe go sideways, right? Unless we have sellers who are forced to compete, and then we'll come back and tag that close, right? This is the correction to overnight inventory, which is long. Now we're going to just drop in to that point of control under 5. Here we go. So larger traders, if you're short up here in the 18s, 19s, right? You're looking, if we can't get under 59.04, start taking them back. Yeah, exactly. Hey, Leslie, how are you? Beautiful. Hey, Tobias, how are you? Nice work, Jaden. This is normal market doing what it's supposed to. Beautiful correction back down. Right? Remember, I was telling those shorts, you're shorting in the purple area where your warning levels were, and then you just, if you're a size trader, just put your buy orders in, use the levels, and cover off. Now here's the test. The test is when we come into this overnight low where these single prints are. Right? There are shorts trapped in here. Right? So when shorts are trapped, that means buy orders. Right? And there's that poor low. Now normally, if you have normal market conditions, right, you would break that poor low. Let's see what happens. There's a little short covering. Hey, what's up, Uncle Dubs? How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, that 5,900 bid is still there. Exactly, Alexander. Exactly. Now this is what's interesting. This is the interesting part. Do we like if the shorts were bid to cover here? Bid to cover means they have buy orders up. And if they're bid to cover and they see a lot of selling, they'll drop their buy orders. Now, how do they do that? Well, you go put up a bid for 100 contracts. If it gets filled instantly, well, then you know that they're sellers. And you put your next 100 down a couple of points. Right? If you bid for 100 contracts and you only get filled on 25, well, you got to move your bids up. Yeah, but we're still in the overnight cost basis, right? Little rotation here, right? As we catch this inventory. Still got some bids. Still got some bids. Not bad. Big green candle. Big green candle. It's a lot of short covering and not enough product. Right? So that's a temporary shortage of supply. Look at that candle, 58.99 to 59.07. I was too slow to take the long. Full disclosure. I missed the long. Now let's see if it comes and backfills the sixes and the fives. I don't like trading it in the middle of the zone. Here's the backfill. Right? That big green candle created demand. There's still supply, so now we're going to go distribute that supply. Let's see if it can take out 59.05. Yep. Now let's see if it can get back up again, or do we come back to the twos? Let's see if the sellers step in at 59.04. All right. Long three and flat at 4.5. Not the greatest trade. Did the look below and fail of two and a quarter. Is the president talking again? Oy. Okay, putting the Dom away. Putting the Dom away. Oh. Oh, he's not talking? Good. I don't know. I think people just like to say he's talking just to see everybody freak out. Like you notice as soon as somebody said that, it was a Raj, right? I put my order my Dom away. I would love to get this thing lower underneath 58.96. I'm curious what's lurking under here. Right? What's down here? I think we're going to go test that now. Oh my goodness. Well, the SPY is an ETF. I don't know. Is it a BlackRock product? I don't know. It is having a hard time getting lower there, Ronan. Yeah, Elsie, we'd love to see that too. Let's get some liquidation. It'd be healthy. A nice liquidation here would be healthy. It'll grease the wheels. Yeah, I don't know who does the SPY. Is it State Street? I don't know. I've never wondered. Okay. Yeah, that 90's holding. Oh, holding 59.05. Targets 59.07 and three quarter, then 10 and a half. Let's see what happens when B period opens here, folks. 30 seconds. Look at it. Getting frisky. There's 7 and three quarters. Right. Over 7 and three quarters. Get past that 9 seller here. And then up to 10 and a half. Hey, Marky, B period. This, if you're looking at my screen, the chart on the right-hand side with the letters, A, B, C, in Chicago, right, where they invented market profile, each half-hour bar, they give a letter period. So 9:30 to 10 is A period, 10 to 10:30 is B period, and so on. Got up to 10 and a half. Look above 10 and a half, fail, back down to 5. And we're back into that position. Let's see. Whoa! Caught a bid at 6. So we got some rotations. Not bad. I'm just happy to trade the rotations. Long 7, selling 9, 1 left, out at 9 and a quarter. Right? And I'm just trading the rotations. Every time it gets down here, I buy a little bit, sell a little bit, buy a little bit, sell a little bit. Oh, that's right. They gave him a plane or something, didn't they? That's a nice gift. Here, have a 747. I like trading rotations. I much prefer trading a rotation than a trend because you know the edges of your sandbox. Uh, I mean, I doubt the plane is completely free. Nobody gives away a 747 and doesn't expect anything. And now we're in the middle of the zone. Oh, it looks pretty nice inside. Over 7 3/4 targets 10. Not ready yet. Right. So what I like to do is I just like to take this, go long, stop, sell. Right. You could do the short as well in a rotation. There's no such thing as a free lunch unless you're Omni and his dad. They're good at getting free lunches. Oh boy. It's slowing to a crawl now. So folks, I'm going to be cutting it short about 15 minutes today. I got to prep for a podcast that we're recording. Hey Dom, welcome. Yeah, we haven't done a lot of podcasts. Um, Ray runs that sort of thing, and he and Steve are the ones who get the guests. So I was trying to get good guests, and today we have Grant Cardone, so that'll be cool. Yeah, we could use some selling, Dubs. A little grease the wheels, you know? There's that seller. Now we're going to come down to the twos. There's the twos. I didn't like the long here. I saw that there was it's like a wall of selling right here. It's called Confessions of a Market Maker. It's on YouTube. Um, we'll record it and then it'll probably be out tomorrow. Oh, that was a nice bounce off too. Wow. Okay. Thanks, Mark. What now? After you like Tobias, if you've made some money, right? Oh, you found this company in the battery space. I don't know, man. If you take a position, it's in the money. I don't know. I've been trained to sell, but that's just me, right? That's just me. I am, if I take down a position and it's doing well, well, I'll be a seller. I don't know what your investment strategy is, but send the if you have suggestions for guests for the podcast, just drop Steve a note at M Trading. Hey, nice work, Aubrey. Well done. Now, if we have the position under the open, we can take that position, right? We can take this, go sell it up here, right? Go sell it up here. Let's see if we can do that yet. Not yet. Let's see if we can break that A low. It's choppy. That's okay. It'll settle in. Seller at 5. I was looking for a look below and fail of 5. But when I saw that they kind of sold aggressively here, so I just stepped away. If B period breaks the close, look out if you're long, eh? Manage your risk. Big green candle. It's quite amazing how this market just runs out of supply, right? I like chop too because you can manage your risk and you know very quickly when to get out of a trade. So you're not hanging on to bad trades. That's the worst in choppy markets. You're just hanging on to bad trades. You know, and that, I mean, this way you can just get out and get your head together. Look at that. I was thinking B period was going to take out the A low and come down and challenge that overnight low. Once again, just bids, 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 bids. Alrighty, folks. Well, we know that 5,900 is bid for now for the morning session. I'm going to leave you guys a little early. Have a wonderful morning. Stay out of trouble. Come by and visit us at the Trading Syndicate. We'd love to have you. I'm JJ vwaptrader1, and I'll check in on you guys in a little bit. Gonna go get ready for this podcast so I don't sound like a doofus. Thanks, everyone. Trade smart out there. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now.